Hey, everybody out there in EV world. It is your man Rob with Tesla Forever coming to you with, I think, some pretty outstanding news. It may not be breaking news, but it's some pretty outstanding news, guys. Norway has gone almost completely EV. 93% of all of Norway's cars sold this year in 2025 so far have been electric. 93%. Folks, they're leading the world. You can't beat that with anything. That is, folks, according to an article in Sustainable Futures that was featured on CNBC today. I know a lot of Tesla channels aren't real big on CNBC. One of them even calls them CNBS for all the negative reports they do on Tesla, and they do a lot of negative reports on Tesla. According to the author Sam Meredith, I'm in Norway and EVs are everywhere. Here's what the country has done differently. Norway has long been a blazing trail in the transition away from internal combustion engine, ICE cars. For some of the wealthy Nordic countries' major cities, about 30% of all passenger cars are now fully electric, according to Norway's EV Association, NEVA. The EV adoption rate in the capital city of Oslo, meanwhile, is as high as 40%. Electric vehicles are pretty much everywhere you look in Norway. The wealthy Nordic country, which is known for its massive oil and gas reserves in the North Sea, has long been a blazing trail in the transition away from internal combustion engines, ICE cars. A steady stream of measures to support the uptake of EVTs, from tax exemptions to reduced fees, has now put the country on the cusp of completely erasing gasoline and diesel vehicles from its new car market. For some of the country's major cities, about 30% of all passenger cars on the road are now fully electric, according to Norway's EV association, NEVA, which represents electric car owners in the country. In the capital city of Oslo, meanwhile, it is as high as 40%. It is perhaps no surprise then that standing at a crosswalk in Oslo's city center means waiting for a near constant stream of fully electric models to come to a stop. It is very visible, and I think some people don't even really realize how good this is because it's happened quite fast, Christina Boo, Secretary General of NEVA, told CNBC during an interview at the association's office in Oslo. The air is cleaner, it's quieter, and this is a change that hasn't really cost consumers that much. They actually love driving an EV, and they work quite well, Boo said. Now, look at this. Norway sales of EVs have increased from less than 1% of total auto sales in 2010. Now, when did Elon come on the scene big time with Tesla and the Model 3 guys? 2012. Any coincidence? I think not. So less than 1% in total auto sales in 2010 to 88.9% last year in 2024. And now the trend this year does not show any sign of slowing. Even though people are telling you EV sales are slowing, they are not. EV sales in Norway this year, from data published by the Norwegian Public Roads Administration, which is responsible for the country's national road network, found that EVs have accounted for more than 93% of all new cars sold in 2025 so far. Okay? Why? Well, one of the reasons is cars that pollute are taxed out of business in Norway. By comparison, electric vehicle sales accounted for 15.4% of the total European Union market sales in the first few months of 2025, but Norway is not a member of the EU. Stateside, the shares of new passenger EV sales hit 10% in 2023, according to the Rocky Mountain Institute, up from 1% as recently as 2027. So we're playing catch up, guys, but in only 6 years in the US, EV sales have gone from 1% to 10%. And guys, usually with any new technology, 10% is that tipping point. Once you get over 10%, the S curve starts going up dramatically, and that's where the United States is right now. According to the Norway State Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Cicely Kneb Kroglund, said the country's success in transitioning away from combustion cars has been driven by long-term and consistent policymaking. We use a lot of tax incentives and user incentives, which are the most important thing, and also we have the infrastructure, of course, Krugland said during an interview. And you can see, folks, the picture there of a whole slew of Tesla superchargers. Okay, the EV incentives include a VAT tax exemption, value added tax exemption, discount on road and parking taxes, and access to bus lanes. The government has also heavily invested in public charging infrastructure, and many Norwegian households are able to charge their cars at home, which we all know is the most inexpensive place to charge your EV in your own home or driveway. The lack of an automaker lobby in Norway is also thought to benefit the country's EV adoption rate over the years. Guys, you don't have the big three gasoline. You don't have Ford, uh, General Motors, Chrysler, Stellantis, uh, bucking the government, paying officials to keep the ice cars on the road, guys. So they don't have an automaker lobby over there, and Norway's government's not been pressured. Country has of about 5.5 million people has achieved a new electric milestone of 10,000 fast chargers nationwide. The rollout of these charging stations has not been consistent across the country ever, with far more installed in the south compared to the far north. Nonetheless, the ever growing number of fast charging stations has defied concerns from critics who has previously warned that the power grid may not be able to cope. Guys, again, you charge your car plugged into your garage at night when the very, very, very least used uh, strain is on the power grid. And then if I'm sure Norway, I'm going to do some research, but I'm sure Norway is also leading the way on using solar and wind energy to power up their EV stations, guys. I'm sure Norway is going to be at the forefront of that. If the United States and Tesla is using solar to power charging station, Tesla's charging stations, then I'm sure EVs at Norway's at the forefront of that. Norway has had strong policies for many years. It's not just about tax exemptions for EVs, but also higher and higher taxes on internal combustion engine cars. So, for the last 3 years or so, the general purchase taxes have doubled, and they were already very high on gas cars. Cars that could pollute are taxed out of business in Norway. And guys, here's this author of this article saying how quiet it is there, how much cleaner the air is there. There you go, guys. Looking ahead, Krogland said the country plans to fully transition to electric city buses by 2025 while making heavy duty vehicles 75% renewable by the end of the decade. We have to acknowledge that transport has a role in climate change. I think 30% of pollution comes from the transport sector, so we had to do something, Krogland said. We have to move forward on other parts of the transport sector like city buses. We have good numbers on that too, but the next level is heavy duty vehicles. Guys, Norway is leading the way on EVs. I hope we can emulate them. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day.